Shen Wanyi is a beloved actress who works for Shinhao Entertainment. The CEO of the company is her fiancé, Lu Mingyu. In the opening scene, she is standing in the middle of the road with fear in her eyes. It's apparent that she's running away from someone. Unfortunately, just a few seconds later, a vehicle hits her, and she is killed instantly. It's then revealed that the driver is none other than her fiancé, Mingyu. The scene then shifts to Wanyi's funeral, being attended by many friends and relatives. Mingyu also arrives with his best friend Jiao, who is another big actress. As the two face the reporters, they pretend to be sad and devastated. However, in reality, they are the ones who orchestrated the whole thing. After everyone leaves the room, Jiao approaches our heroine's lifeless body and says that she will take good care of her fiancé. The two then end up getting intimate in front of Wanyi's coffin. It's revealed that they killed her so that they could be together. Following this, the movie cuts to another timeline. Wanyi suddenly wakes up the day before her murder. Somehow, she remembers all the events that transpired in the other timeline. A flashback reveals that the evil duo hired some goons to force her to drink a lethal cocktail. This caused her intense pain and temporary loss of speech. When she went to confront them, she found them in a compromising position. Mingyu was shocked to learn that she had survived the poisoning, so he decided to take matters into his own hands. He chased our poor girl and eventually killed her by running her down with his car. After the flashback, Wanyi, who seems to have somehow gotten a second chance in life, plans her revenge. The following day at a press conference, Jiao and Mingyu walk the red carpet in grandiose fashion. When Wanyi arrives, she pulls him aside to take pictures. For now, she acts as if everything is normal to avoid detection. When they get on stage, she warmly thanks everyone for attending the press conference. As planned, she announces that she will be getting married to Mingyu next month. She also excitedly shows the engagement ring on her finger. In a flashback, we see she was humiliated by the backstabbing Jiao when one of Jiao's men threw a glass of water in her face and flashed some fake photos of Wanyi with a supposed other man. Our girl quickly regains her composure and continues with her plan. Our girl is determined to change the present and punish the evil duo. When the big screen lights up, everyone is shocked to see a picture of Mingyu and Jiao being intimate. Turns out Wanyi and her assistant secretly took them earlier. The reporters quickly turn to Jiao and ask her if she's having an affair with her boss. They demand an explanation, but she doesn't have anything to say. Meanwhile, Wanyi observes the chaos from a distance and smirks to herself, thinking that this is just the beginning. As for Mingyu, he is embarrassed, angry, and paranoid because he has no idea who could have known about their secret affair. Afterward, he approaches our girl and tries to convince her that it was just a misunderstanding. He claims that he and Jiao were rehearsing a scene when the pictures were taken. The next day, as Wanyi is shooting for her movie, she is pursued by a horde of fans. This is because she is probably the best actress in the business. Surprisingly, when another car pulls up near her, the fans turn in that direction. The person turns out to be Gu Yanju, the owner of Gu Entertainment Group. Seeing him, our heroine remembers that she heard the news about his accidental death in her previous life, meaning he will die soon. In the afternoon, Wanyi continues the movie shoot. During one of the scenes, she has to hit Jiao, who is playing the supporting role. Our girl takes this as a perfect opportunity and just keeps wailing on her. When the director asks what she's doing, she pretends that she misheard his orders. Later, an angry Jiao goes to Mingyu and orders him to do something about his finances. However, instead of helping, he blames her for the mess she made at the press conference. In the next scene, Wanyi is at a cafe when Jiao suddenly confronts her. She demands an apology, but our heroine splashes water in her face instead. Enraged, Jiao is about to slap her, but right then, Gu arrives along with a swarm of reporters, forcing the bitch to back off. In the evening, Wanyi changes her clothes and visits Gu's lavish apartment. When the guards refuse to let her in, she tells them that she has a personal appointment with their boss. She then walks straight to the swimming pool, where Gu is currently relaxing. The CEO asks our heroine why she has come. Wanyi says the reason she is there might sound crazy, but he has to believe her because the situation is very serious. She says that he's going to die soon, so he has to be very careful. As expected, Gu thinks she's joking and jumps into the swimming pool. At first, everything seems fine, but then he suddenly gets a cramp, which causes his body to seize. As he struggles to stay afloat, our heroine jumps in the water and pulls him to safety. After catching his breath, Gu asks Wanyi what she wants. She smiles at him and says she wants to work for his company. Our girl is an A-list actress, so he immediately agrees. The next day, as Wanyi is in the middle of filming, she is suddenly hugged by a kid. He calls her mother and refuses to leave her side. In a flashback, we see that Jiao had privately contacted Wang Yi's biological mother and learned that they were not on good terms. Using this information, she bribed the mother and asked her to bring a child on the stage to ruin her girl's reputation in front of everyone. Upon seeing the unfamiliar kid in front of her, Wang Yi claims she doesn't know him. However, she is immediately swarmed by nosy reporters who demand answers. Jiao also arrives at the scene and starts exaggerating the situation. Just when it seems like she's about to succeed, Mr. Gu shows up. To calm the situation, he orders a DNA test to verify if the boy is really her son. Hearing this, Mom realizes she may be exposed, so she desperately grabs Jiao's leg and blames her for the situation. She admits to being paid handsomely for her part in all of this. However, the bitch acts all innocent and manages to wiggle her way out of the situation by denying knowing the woman. Later, when Mingyu learns of the incident, he is left fuming. He confronts Jiao and warns her against causing another scene, as it's ruining his company's reputation. She quickly apologizes and tells him that she found a new investor for the company. Hearing this, the CEO's mood suddenly changes and he hugs her. In the next scene, we see Wang Yi trying on a wedding dress. She is aware that Mingyu and Jiao will soon arrive there and make out in another room. Because she knows this, she has her assistant film their indiscretion. Her plan works, and the assistant secretly takes pictures and videos of the two doing the nasty. Later, as Mingyu prepares to head home, he spots his fiancée and Gu in a compromising position. Turns out the two are just pretending to be close as they want to make him jealous. To their delight, the plan works, as Mingyu is left absolutely infuriated. As soon as he gets home, he grabs Wang Yi's neck and accuses her of cheating. He also threatens to hand over the female lead role to Jiao. Unbeknownst to him, Wang Yi is recording all of this on a hidden camera. The next day at a charity event, Jiao is on stage happily chatting with everyone and welcoming them to the ceremony. Moments later, Mingyu and Wang Yi also arrive at the event. Our heroine walks up to the stage and whispers to Jiao, asking her to guess what's on her neck. Without thinking twice, the latter looks and reveals her neck wounds from yesterday. This shocks everyone in the room, and they begin gossiping about who the culprit might be. Suddenly, the video that captured the assault plays on a large screen, exposing Mingyu's abusive tendencies. But the cherry on the top is when the intimate video with Jiao is played. The jackass is literally caught with his pants down, and he pleads with Wang Yi to explain the matter. But just then, Mr. Gu appears and escorts her away. Because of the incident, Mingyu gets a lot of hate and his company's stocks plummet to an all-time low. He also learns from his secretary that Wang Yi is leaving his entertainment company to start her own. Consumed with rage, he plans to make Wang Yi pay 10 times the penalty. However, his secretary believes it's not a good idea because the company is already in hot water. She instead suggests that he let Wang Yi come forward to appease the public. Mingyu takes her advice and invites our girl for a meetup. When she arrives, he changes his tone and starts treating her politely. He promises her that he will sort out everything between them. However, Wang Yi is no longer fooled by him, so she directly pours water on him. She then leaves with Gu, while the evil CEO watches them angrily. The next day when Wang Yi goes to Hongjin to shoot a film, she brings delicious milk tea for everyone. This impresses the set members, and they begin praising her nature. Meanwhile, Jiao watches this from a distance. Overcome with jealousy, she comes up with an evil plan. Later, she pretends to have a leg injury and summons the doctor. When the latter is distracted, her assistant switches a medicine bottle from his kit. In the evening, Wang Yi continues to shoot the film, taking her work very seriously. All of a sudden, she's abducted by kidnappers paid off by Ji Yao, who attack our girl ruthlessly and injure her. Soon after, Gu and his men rush forward to save Wang Yi. They then bring her to the medical van to clean up her wounds. The CEO takes the swapped medicine from the doctor and prepares to apply it to our heroine. Just then, Mingyu arrives at the scene and starts fighting with Gu. Due to the ensuing tussle, the medicine bottle falls to the floor. It shatters into pieces, revealing acid inside. Mingyu takes this opportunity and claims that Gu is trying to harm his fiancée. However, our girl knows who's behind this, so she dismisses him and leaves for the hospital. At the hospital, Wang Yi has nightmares about the day she died. She becomes very anxious and sweats profusely. Seeing her distress, Gu comforts her and promises to stay by her side. It becomes clear that there are some sparks between them. Unfortunately, the following day, Gu gets a call from the hospital and is informed that Wang Yi is gone missing. He immediately confronts Mingyu, but the latter seems to be unaware of the situation. It turns out that Jiao had her men kidnap Wang Yi and tie her to a children's playground. She wants to sideline her once and for all. But as she boasts her plan to become the best actress in China, our heroine manages to untie herself. She then hits the bitch from behind and ties her to a pole. Moments later, Gu arrives at the scene and hugs Wang Yi. Mingyu also arrives and tries to take her away, but he gets shut the fuck down. As the days pass, the wealthy CEO grows increasingly frustrated about his condition. He blames his fiancée for all his troubles. So one day, he kidnaps her and takes her to a glass tower. He then gives her two choices, either marry him or die. Wang Yi gladly chooses to die rather than spend her life with such a wretched man. This enrages Mingyu, and he attempts to break the glass floor in order to kill her. Thankfully, Gu arrives just in time to save the day. He takes out Mingyu and helps our girl escape the tower. The movie then cuts to several weeks later. Wang Yi is still acting and is still the best actress in China. One day, Gu proposes to her in a very romantic way, to which she cannot help but say yes. The show ends happily as her favorite couple decides to marry soon.